getting so good at marketing that we're actually doing
disservice.
the follower base, our consumer base, a disservice.
Yeah.
Because people are going, well, what the fuck do I do? Like, you know, I've put here, like, we've been told not to train to failure, and we have a body of work of people who are the biggest humans on the planet who train to failure, who have. So now you're like, if you come into the gym, you're like, oh, was that 4 reps in reserve? 1. Like, I've almost got to the point now with my guys, I'm like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah, just live more than last
I'm
week.
like, why put a ceiling on what you think you can do when we all, most likely in a clinical setting, in the right environment, with the right people around us, the right approach, would exponentially do more. So I'm like, you know what, man? Just go for it. Just do it safely. Like, you know, you pick your movements where you kind of bury someone and, you know, so, but then there's the people that are like, oh, but if I do that, like, then I'm going to get too fatigued. And I'm like, what does that even fucking mean?
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm too fatigued to do what?
Yeah.
You know, like, we spoke about it in the tricep video. I was like, I'm training arms every day at the moment. And Mimi was like, what? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, my cousin's a diesel mechanic. And he'll break your hand if he shakes it. Yeah. His forearm is fucking huge. Yeah. And I'm like, well, this dude just
does that
on the wrench all day. And I'm like, do you think he comes to work and goes, I can't
need a deload.
I can't do the I can't use the
Sorry,
wrench.
boss, need a deload this week.
Just put me on the forklift or whatever the fuck else is in the shop. Can't be using the wrench today.
I'm doing test drives this week.
Need a deload. Like it just doesn't work like that. So then so what's happened is his forearms are just fucking massive. And strong. Even that guy that we did the kettlebell workshop with years ago, and I was like, how do you get calves like that? And he's like, just be fat and walk with a bag like
a backpack
uphill to school every day.
So move to Gisborne and get a pram.
I can confirm that works, guys. So I'm like, that also becomes fatiguing, like confusing. Like we're just getting to a point where we're like over analyzing the things that are almost just getting in the way of us just like getting after and having a fucking crack, you know? Like, I've even seen content now where people are like, oh, you know, probably should do your bicep curls, like, seated because, you know, you got axial fatigue from standing. And
Lordy,
if you sit, you don't have that axial fatigue and you'll be able to get more of a stimulus in your biceps. Like, granted, you will probably isolate your biceps a tiny bit more, but you can fucking stand, man. Like, that's
how
not...
systemically weak do you have to be to not be able to overcome 17 kilo curls?
Absolutely. And I'm like, where...
like come on.
And what's the long-term kind of net gain for that?
Yeah, and like, it's like you said, like, we spoke about it with steps the other week. Like, you were like, if I trained and went to work and had to walk for my job, I'm not going to not work. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, if you have to get your output out when you get your output out, who cares? That's crazy, man. So sit down when you do your bicep curls so it's less fatiguing.
Yeah.
And the least fatiguing exercise on your fucking program. Absolutely. It's literally just like hinge.
Next thing you know, people are going to be sitting down to do the cable press down. So we'll put the cable and we'll sit on the bench. And
I'm going to do some groceries tonight, and I need like 3 things. I'm getting a trolley because carrying a basket will be too much.
Hey, that's
anti-rotation and actual load.
That's going to affect your gains.
Far
for the next
too
workout.
fatiguing.
Yeah, I just think we're. And then like it's.
But I bet the person that does that has 240 milligrams of caffeine at 6 p.m. before they train.
Yeah, and I bet you they're probably like
small,
75 kilos max. It's just crazy.
Hard.
No, the person with the microphone is big.
Yeah,
the followers that then have a smaller microphone, aren't usually big.
That's fair.
Yeah. And but it's like they're looking. So again, it's like, what's the first domino, right?
So this is an interesting thought that I'm having while we have this conversation. And again, this is not like we're old and we're better. But we are. Yeah. I feel like we search for complexity and difficulty because hard was good. It's like the pendulum swung now that complexity is in simplifying, if that makes sense. Like, how do I make it easier?
I think
because we were like fucking 4 steps, drop sets.
Yeah, I think the message now
bands and all that shit.
I think the message now is you hyper niched, hyper intricate equals more effective in absence of the things that you still should have.
Yeah.
Effort, consistency, strength.
Yeah.
Like if you take those out, even like proficiency, so learning, moving properly, it doesn't matter what your fucking range of motion is like.
Yeah.
If you don't have those things,
of course,
like it doesn't matter.
Have
like
as much range as you want.
Yeah, and it's like even if I have like good range of motion, good technique, but it's like if I'm not training hard enough, like that's why you look the same, bro.
Yeah.
Every time you cut down, like
yeah.
But people think like, oh, because this movement accesses like, you know, it's an S tier. So this is the new thing as well, calling everything like by tiers.
Mm-hmm. So
apparently, like if you just like get extreme like range in the joint, it's an S tier exercise, irrespective of whether it loads the muscle or not.
Yeah.
So if you're not moving these if you're doing these S tier exercises, but you don't train hard, it's like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like you're still going to get the gains that you should have and then they look at the person who like maybe just like is a bit of a meathead kind of like, you know, dog style kind of training, like rough around the edges, and they're like, this guy trains like shit. It's like, bro, he's fucking twice the size of you.
Yeah.
Like where have we lost the clues around like what builds muscle?
Yeah.
You know, it's like we've gone so far down, or it's like, I don't like using his name because I'm not that much of a fan of the work that he does, and it's not anything to do with the actual work. I just don't like the person. So, old Jeff Nippard, not a fan. Right? Don't care if anyone shows him that. It's like he's killing it.
He's
good
doing
on him.
Better than us.
Good on him. But I don't like the idea that everything I've seen is like it's all range of motion and it's all this and everything's like stretch position, whatever. And it's like we've just never addressed the fact that you look that way because you were like an exceptional powerlifter.
Yeah.
So it's like, when are you going to address the fact that your exceptional baseline of strength and powerlifting is part of the reason you have this awesome physique?